Hello, colors. Welcome to Viva Barça, the home of everything Barcelona. Of course, in this video, we are going to discuss on the latest on our club, focusing on transfer news. Firstly, we start with Nico Williams. Of course, the most highly talked about transfer target for Barca so far this summer. We are going to be bringing about the latest update on that. Very interesting. Don't miss out. Then secondly, in this episode, we talk about our defender Ronald Araujo. Of course, sadly enough, Araujo picked up an injury yesterday in Uruguay's match against Brazil in the Copa America quarterfinals. And of course, that was a big blow for us. Of course, currently we have key players injured like Pedri Gonzalez and Frankie de Jong. Of course, which definitely means that, the injury crisis deepens for Barcelona. Very unfortunate situation. We are going to discuss more on that as well. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, endeavor to hit that subscribe button. For those who are just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are highly welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch till the end. Barcelona continue to be strongly linked with Athletic Club winger Nico Williams, who is one of the club's primary targets to fortify the left-wing position. Now, former Barcelona midfielder and captain for Barca in the 1980s named Jose Vicente, of course, has spoken highly about the Spanish winger, affirming that Barcelona would do well to acquire his signature. Tente Sanchez praised the impressive wing pairing of Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal on the Spanish national team, highlighting their exceptional abilities. Going by his words, he said, "Before thinking about signing Nico Williams, Barca should be on a 1:1 basis. I think he's a very good player, and I say it clearly, and he's proving it alongside Lamine Yamal. They are so young, they are cheeky, they are having such quality," he said. Additionally, the veteran argued that he finds Nico more engaging to watch compared to Rafinha, even suggesting that selling Rafinha to raise funds for Nico would be a favorable move. He said, "Nico could play in a top-level team without any problem. If there was the possibility of signing him, I would sign him. I would say more, if there's a possibility of Rafinha leaving and getting some money, I would sign Nico. If I sit down to watch a match in which both of them play, I will pay more attention to Nico than Rafinha," he said. Drawing similarities between, Nico and Lamine Yamal, he highlighted the Basque winger's intelligent game awareness. He said, "Nico is very similar to Lamine. He understands the game and usually chooses the right moment, whether it's the pass, the shot on goal, or the dribble." The veteran also believed that it would not be a problem at all to pair Bade and Nico on the same wing and with their profiles complementing each other as well. He said, "Nico, both at Athletic and the national team, when the fullback goes up, he worries about dropping back. Besides, Bade, on the other hand, despite being an attacking fullback, has a more defensive profile than João Cancelo. When one starts and goes up, the other will stay back. It's a question of getting organized, nothing more," he said. On Ousmane Dembele, he said, "Dembele departed Barca, of course, last summer after PSG triggered his release clause, despite admitting that he showed improvements in his final season at the club." Sanchez commented that the winger often made poor decisions and did not fully understand the game. He said, "In his last season at Barca with Xavi, he improved. You didn't know if he would go one way or the other, but he did other things that made it seem like he wasn't in the game or the play. When he had to dribble, he passed the ball, and when he had to pass the ball, he dribbled. He also wanted to pass with three opponents in front of him. He just didn't understand the game." On Maguire, the Barcelona striker recently joined Chelsea after being offered assurances of more playtime and a higher financial package. Opening up about his exit, Tente Sanchez sympathized with his decision, as finding regular game time at a competitive club like Barcelona is not the easiest at all. He said, "I imagine that Maguire's departure is due to the fact that the player's agent will have asked the club for a leading role in the first team, and the possibility of being able to play, and that the club has not been able to offer this commitment. Not everyone has a place in the first team. These are decisions that have to be made. There are players who are expected due to age and others who are not. He has considered his future, but that does not mean that he does not love the club. It is more a professional than an emotional issue. On the future of Barca, conveying optimism about Barcelona's future, Tente Sanchez advises patients and not to get anxious. He commented that the players will need to adjust to Hansi Flick's strategy, but the coach will also try, to fit the team's current style of play. Ultimately, everything depends on the result, he said. We have to wait a bit. Let's not get nervous. We'll see how the squad is defined, the 1-to-1 rule, which the coach says, which hasn't been presented yet. We don't know what he thinks of the team or what his idea of play is. What is evident is that the players will have to adapt to the way Flick wants the team to play, although I understand that he will try as far as possible to adapt to our way of playing as well, but everything will depend on the results, he said. Great words there from the legend. Then on to the next story of discussion. Barcelona's bad luck with player injuries continues as they face yet another setback following Pedri's recent injury while on international duty. This time, the blow comes as a muscle injury to Jackie defender Ronald Araujo. The incident occurred during the Copa America quarterfinal match between Uruguay and Brazil. In the 30th minute of that game, Araujo was forced to leave the field in tears after suffering a muscle problem in his right leg. The injury happened as Araujo attempted to block a cross while stretching out his right leg. The Uruguayan centre-back suddenly went down, clutching his face in pain. The urgency of the situation was immediately apparent as both teammates and opponents quickly gathered around him, and Uruguay's medical team promptly called up for the substitution. He was eventually replaced by Jose Maria Jimenez. Then let's talk about more bad news for Barca. This development in particularly concerning Giving Araujo's injury of muscle problems. Since making his debut for Barca in 2019, he has dealt with 8 different muscle injuries. The severity of this latest injury is still unknown, pending a thorough diagnosis. However, the initial signs are troubling and suggest that Araujo's preseason preparations with FC Barcelona under new manager Hansi Flick could be significantly affected as well. For Flick, this adds to an already challenging situation. The new manager is preparing to start his tenure with Barcelona amid a spate of injuries. Key players like Frankie de Jong, Gavi, and Pedri are already expected to miss the start of this preseason. So with Araujo now potentially sidelined as well, Hansi Flick's task of readying the team for the upcoming season becomes even more daunting. You know, the timing of these injuries couldn't be worse for Barca, as they aim to rebuild and strengthen the squad. Having critical players unavailable disrupts their plans and hampers the team's cohesion and preparation. The injuries to Pedri and Araujo in particular are significantly blows. Both players are not other central to Barcelona's defensive and midfield strategies, but not bring a level of experience and skill that is hard to replace. The absence of so many key players during preseason means that Flick will have to rely on the depth of the squad, giving opportunities to younger or less experienced players to step up. This could be double-edged sword. While it provides a chance for emerging talents to shine, it also puts pressure on them to perform at a high level without the guidance of seasoned veterans. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye.